Hello everyone, Ember Power here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at some Alolan Vulpix deck lists from Silver Tempest. So as always, before we begin, just looking at some translations. Alolan Vulpix Vstar is a very squishy Vstar Pokemon with only 248 HP. Thankfully, Alolan Vulpix is, however, a support Pokemon in most of the decks we'll see, so having 248 points isn't so bad, especially when Snow Mirage can give you immunity against Pokemon that have abilities. So very unique kind of niche effect, but Snow Mirage, very powerful effect, and kind of makes up for the fact that Alolan Vulpix is just a very squishy Pokemon V-Star. And I can't really say that enough because 240 is abysmal for a V-Star Pokemon, but still, yeah, it is what it is, I guess. And Palkia, is a lot tankier, and we will see Palkia a lot in this video, so I guess it's okay. But either way, Snow Mirage does 160 for Water Double Turbo, goes through any effects, and grants you immunity against Pokemon that have abilities. So very powerful effects all around. And then Sylveon, fairly underwhelming V-Star power for 0 energy, does 70 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon V in play. So kind of the bad side about this is that, or the downside I guess, is that most of the opponent's times, in most games, they will not be playing very many V Pokemon, unless you're against something like a Turntous, but who plays that anymore, so Sylveon, not very powerful, but still, there is other options for V-Star powers. And then Serena is a very powerful supporter coming out in Silver Tempest. You get to choose one of these effects. Discard up to three cards from your hand. If you discard any cards in this way, you may draw until you have 5 in your hand. And then the second effect that you can choose to do is you switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon V with their active. So essentially doubles as a draw supporter as well as a boss's order. So very cool and very powerful. We're just looking at some alternate V-Star powers you can make use of if you want to attack with Vulpix a lot but don't want to use its V-Star power. Earthen Sealstone has the exact same attack cost as Snow Mirage with Star Gravity, and it says put damage counters on all of your opponent's Pokemon V until they each have 100 HP remaining. So it will allow you to get these like bigger or at least easier 1-hit KOs with Snow Mirage with a Choice Belt. And then for Sealstone, just says during a turn you may search your deck for any one card and put it into your hand. So very powerful option, very busted, just allows you to search for anything really, so yeah, very powerful effect. So just looking at this first list here, we have a Palkia Ice Rider variant. This is kind of like the direction I'd expect to see Palkia Ice Rider go moving forward. It's essentially trading off the fact that you play less Ice Rider, which is like your bulkier attacker, in favor of a thin line of Alolan Vulpix being a 2-2, and this Vulpix will essentially act as your better tech option against Lost Zone decks. What's really cool about this list is that, of course, Palkia has the amazing ability Aqua Portal that will allow you to accelerate water energy from your discard pile to a Vulpix and allow you to set up multiple attackers in one turn. So, very powerful combination. And then, of course, the Inteleon engine is just ridiculous. So, this is kind of like the example list of Palkia Ice Rider I would say you could play moving forward. And this one, just very quickly, we have this like strange Arceus box, complete with both Palkia, Ice Rider, and then Empoleon and Starmie as tech options. It seems like a very awkward list, honestly, to play. I'm not so sure I like it that much, just because I don't feel you need Arceus. I think Palkia is strong enough on its own, and Inteleon offsets enough of your weakness that you would want to use with Starbirth. So what I mean by that is, you do want to use Starbirth, which is like a very busted V-Star power to find your double turbos and such. But if you use that, then you're not using Aqua Portal V-Star on the Palkia, so not sure how much I agree with this. So, it is like totally up to you, but yeah, I'm not so sure I'm a fan of this one, but it is cool to see, and cards like Empoleon and Starmie are very powerful right now in the game, so should be interesting to see how this one does moving forward. Also worth mentioning is the one-off Zinnia, which is a supporter we don't see very much play, to be honest. Words, I guess. We don't see that one very often. It says discard 2 cards from your hand, and then you get to draw a card for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play. Super interesting effect, but not a one that I think is very strong, so I'd probably just play either a third Serena or something like a third Melanie, perhaps. Then we have a Kyurem Vulpix build, so still got the 4-3 Kyurem, and then just the 2-2 Vulpix, so very light on the support Pokemon side of things. We have the Greninja, 2 Aranguru, and then 1 Pumpkaboo to give you more stadium control with Training Court. But yeah, nothing super crazy out of the box here. It's sort of just giving Kyurem yet another option to deal with other stuff. Things like, Regigigas that have been a bit of a thorn, I guess, for Kyurem. You can just wall out Regigigas with Snow Mirage. That's something to bear in mind. There's also a copy of not Regenerative Energy, but V Guard Energy, I believe it is, in the bottom corner here. Plays 3 copies of it. And this will essentially say it doesn't stack, but you take 30 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon V's attacks, and it'll just allow you to have your Kyurems and your Vulpix to give you just a bit more tankability, really, and have more hit points. Also playing 3 Serena, so high counts of Serena and Irida. It's a super cool list, one that I think could end up being pretty expensive given how popular Kyurem is right now and how collectible Vulpix is. But yeah, I would definitely keep an eye on this one because it seems like a very strong way to play Kyurem. This one is like a bit of a wild card I thought I'd throw in here, but it's essentially a 1/1 Vulpix line in Zoroark is a really cool tech option. It gives you the option of, I guess, having a free V-Star power, but Zoroark's has just a much better one in my opinion, but either way, Vulpix will just give you a nice option. One thing I will say, however, is that if you're playing Melanie, and you're playing this in a Zoroark deck with Melanie with Water Energies, why are you not just playing Empoleon as well? Because Empoleon will just give you a great time against Lost Zone, so Lost Zone and Regis, I should say. So yeah, I would definitely play the Empoleon in here as well. But yeah, it's a cool list and it's a cool idea. So, and it is like fairly easy to tech in as well. It's just a 1/1 line and the energy attack cost match. So yeah, it's a pretty cool variant. Then we have a more of a tankier build with Arceus and Vulpix. Something that I would expect to see in like tier 2, tier 3 at most. I don't think this will place Duraludon by any stretch of the imagination, but it is pretty strong with the Lakey Cutie and Gardevoir, meaning you can take potentially 40 less damage from attacks. Plus with Big Charm, you can have plus 30 hit points, so of course we're going for like more of a tanky kind of build here, and essentially preventing our opponent from ever one-hit killing our Vulpix, allowing us to get disruptive 2-hit kills with Vulpix instead. So, not a one that I'm super hyped for that could end up being super broken or anything. But if you're looking for a Vulpix deck that's like very easy to play, either this or Kyurem I would say is a good place to start. Then last but certainly not least, we have a Sylveon Arceus variant. Very strange. Sylveon hasn't seen a whole lot of play recently, in like a while actually, now I think about it. But it is a super cool list that I thought was worth including. It just gives you this option to have another, I guess, typing on your bench that's not completely useless because it does give you V-Star power, but yet again, Arceus just kind of outclasses Vulpix in that regard. However, Snow Mirage can be powered up using Arceus, so you have access to both Alolan Vulpix, an attacker, as well as their Sylveon. You can also make use of the 1/1 Umbreon line to hit Mew for good damage, so that's nice, get a good weakness in there. And you can also use its ability to just essentially bosses order up anything that you want. So very cool to see Umbreon VMAX seeing play again. And there's also the Galarian Zapdos V, which is super powerful against heavy Arceus decks. So yeah, super cool lists. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about Alolan Vulpix. I think there's some cool potential here to upgrade Kyurem and Palkia even further, even if they don't need the upgrades. But, here we are, I guess. We have to deal with it. But yeah, let me know what you think down below. It's been Empower, and thank you for watching.